Hey guys, Coldbrew here. Welcome back to another Raid Share Legends video. For this one, we're gonna go away from the Hydra boss and go back to the Dragon's Lair. We've got a 2x going on for the speed item, specifically the speed set, which is one of the most important 2x's that you're gonna have in terms of the Dragon's Lair. The speed sets are still something that I am even farming for from the Dragon's Den. I mean, all the other sets that I'm farming are usually from the Firenet, but the speed set, you can never have enough. So in this video, we're gonna go over the top 10 champions for the Dragon's Den. A very important thing about the Dragon is that whatever your team is, whatever thing that you have, you might even have the end game composition to get you to the Dragon. The important thing is to have somebody to kill the Dragon at the end, and that's usually a poison champion. So these top 10 champions are poison champions. Many of them are legendaries, but there's some epics and even one rare in there that actually shine and can make your account progress much faster through farming the Dragon Dungeon. So regardless of what team you have to go through wave 1 and wave 2 and how long it takes, you need to have a poison champion. And of course the first one is going to be Battle Kazaar, in my opinion. One of the first ever OGs to be the solo farmer of the Dragon's Den. He can do it much easier on 20. 25 becomes a bit trickier with the amount of stats that you need, but 20 is soloable, so you can have 4 food champions with him. But he's just an amazing champion for that specific role. Let's go back to the index and I'll show you exactly why. So if you go to the Undead Horde, you go on to Battle Kazaar. He's got the poison on his A2, fantastic, plus the cleanse, plus this very unique passive which increases the damage potential from your allies onto the Dragon's boss, plus all the waves. Fantastic champion overall. You guys know it. Very easy to book as well as a legendary, and a 25% crit aura. Just amazing overall, and I would never say that he's not a top 10 champion for the Dragon's Den. So let's get on to the next one on the list. Before we go on to that, guys, a quick shout out to soundstripe.com. They are an affiliate of mine. If you do enjoy the music played throughout this video, then definitely check it out. There's a 15% discount for you guys. Next one in the list is of course going to be a brand new champion added to the game, and this was because of a competition that Plarium made through the community on making a champion, and this guy came out of this. Calvanax, such an amazing champion. This passive is just insane. 5% poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns at the start of each round. Just an insane passive. What an insane passive. So you start the rounds and wave 1, wave 2, and the boss round with 4 poisons already just makes the run much quicker. He enables the poison explosion teams much easier compared to other champions, and just a fantastic champion overall. Although his max HP skill doesn't do much, just because he has so many poisons available through him, he's a great champion to use for the Dragon's Lair specifically, and to take down the boss much easier. Next one on the list is going to be Tomblord, the champion that we can actually acquire with life tokens right now. Tomblord, with his buff, I was going to say nerf, with his buff very recently, he got the 2 poisons instead on his A2 ability, which is basically he hits once, but then he does like an AoE, and his poisons used to be a 1 turn duration, and now they're made a 2 turn duration, which is fantastic in terms of damage potential coming out of this guy. So if he crits, he's gonna apply 5% poisons, what Calvanax does, but this guy has it on a skill instead of a passive. He also has a defense down and a decreased attack, and his A1 even has a decreased speed if you want to use this throughout the waves. Fantastic champion overall, and he can also solo the Dragon Dungeon in a specific build. You can search it out on YouTube. Some other content creators have probably made some videos about it so far. Next one on the list, of course, is going to be Dracomorph. Regardless of what affinity you have, Dracomorph is going to be an MVP in there because of the defense down weekend that he provides. If you don't have a Lydia, he is an amazing champion just for that, the decreased defense and weekend, but he also has this skill right here, which does more damage depending on the amount of debuffs on the boss, and you're going to be applying a ton of poisons. He'll be doing more damage, a great single target killer, plus the surplus damage that he does, plus the 4 poisons that he can apply. Each hit places a 5% poison debuff for 3 turns. Insane poisoner, 3 turn cooldown, 3 turn duration, just keeps those poisons stacked up. You're gonna use him on your clan boss, you might as well use him on your Dragon's Lair. Probably you didn't even need me to tell you this. Next one on this list is Xavier. So Xavier wasn't really used in the past for the Dragon's Lair, but now with the custom AI, you can actually have Xavier not use her poison explosion, just have her there as a poisoner. She still does the poisons with this A2 skill, plus her A1 skill. So she's a good poisoner. But if you want to go that extra level and you have some additional poisons in your team, that poison explosion, when tuned correctly, can actually eliminate the Dragon's Lair boss just much quicker than any other comp out there. I think the top teams at the moment in the Dragon's Lair have a combination of Xavier plus more poisoners to get that poison explosion as fast as possible and get that dragon down as fast as possible. So Xavier, an MVP for sure, and with some custom AI, if she's your only poisoner, she still works. It's just that you will not benefit from the poison explosion, since if you have this enabled, she usually does it at unfortunate times, and you need proper tuning to make this work. The last legendary on this list is going to be Venus. Venus is a fantastic champion. I just love using her, plus Cupidus for this. For the pure partner, it's basically an extra skill, but even if you don't have Cupidus, great poisons through her A1, A2 with a defense down weaken, and an A3 with an HP burn. So poisons and HP burns work great on the Dragon's Lair. It's just that HP burns are not that used because poisons can stack up. You can have 9 stacks of poisons and 1 HP burn instead of 10 HP burns. That's not possible. So only 1 HP burn, but plus her poisons, and if you have her fast enough, she'll be taking turns many times. If she counterattacks, she'll get that turn in and get more poisons on. Fantastic champion overall because of how unique her kit is, how fast she can be on a base right here, 112, and of course the damage potential that she can give through all of her skills. So the next one on the list, of course, is gonna be Urgot right here. Although he was nerfed very recently and his poisons are not what they used to be, he used to be even better than Battle Kazaar because of his A1. This could apply just so many poisons, and then his A3 could apply again so many poisons plus continuous heal. They changed that, they nerfed him through that way, but he's still a great support for the dragon plus a poisoner. So even if you don't have something else, he can still take you there with his support skills, with his poisons, and take down the dragon as well. So great champion. I still think that he's a top 10 champion for the Dragon's Lair regardless of the nerf. Next up in this list, I like Alfar so much. He is an OG, okay? He definitely is a champion used at the start of the game when I started, and he's still used in many teams out there. This A2 is very unique. 4 poisons on a single target with just 1 skill, 3 turn cooldown, an insane skill in terms of single target poisoning. You'll see that you're gonna use him for the clan boss and might as well use him for the Dragon's Lair as well. Fantastic epic in terms of the poisons. He can also steal buffs through his A1, although the dragon doesn't really apply buffs with his A1, and his A3 is also a very high single target skill. I do like that A2 though, and you cannot go wrong with him with a reflex set or a refresh accessory. She just poisons the dragon so often that the dragon just drops, and I do use him. I used to use him at least in my Dragon 25 team just because of his positive affinity against that blue, and also just because of the amount of poison that he can apply. Next up, it's gonna be Dark Hell. Although very hard to get because of the Doom Tower investment that you need to put, this guy I think is deserved to be a top 10 legendary, top 10 epic for the dragon. The reason is he's got a very solid poison debuffs plus poison sensitivity on the boss. The poison sensitivity helps with the damage potential that he can do. Plus he's got an A1 that actually detonates poisons and HP burn debuffs, which is fantastic. So if you accompany him with another poisoner, you can get that dragon down much quicker than before, just because of the unique skills that he has. He also has a decrease attack as an AoE, so I definitely think that he deserves a top 10 spot in this list. And finally guys, of course, I did mention that we have one rare, and you guys know who that rare is. We're gonna go down to the Undead Hordes. It's gonna be Frozen Banshee. Regardless of what you think about Frozen Banshee, that she's just for the clan boss, she still works great for the dragon boss. Not so much for the waves though. The waves, she doesn't provide all that much that the other champions do, but because she's such a good poisoner with just 1 poison sensitivity on the boss, she just spams those poisons with that A1. Fantastic champion overall. I would highly suggest that you try her out, get her in a team that can get her to the boss, and you'll see the true potential coming out of her. So this is not just a showcase about the dragon 25 or 24 or even 20. You can use her regardless of the stage that you're trying to farm, because she is such a good poisoner. Finally guys, I want to say an honorable mention to one champion that sometimes feels neglected, and it's gonna be a Cold Brawler. Because of his affinity, he's not really used in the dragon, but if you're farming dragon 24 or any other of the stages which are not weak to the green affinities, then a cold brawler, you'll see that he has a great use. Not only his passive, which provides 1 poison, he also has an A1, which is a good way to apply some poisons onto a boss specifically. But I would say that since Frozen Banshee, which is a rare, it's much easier to get, she definitely outranks him in terms of utility, and she's also a better affinity compared to a cold brawler. That's why he couldn't get into the top 10. So guys, this was the video. If you did enjoy this list, leave it down in a comment below. If you think somebody else should have been in the top 10, again, leave it down in the comments. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!